Another for your mother. Double, supersize, and don't forget those fries. Welcome to How Do You Say Arrows?
Welcome.
I love your face. You were not prepared for that one.
I didn't expect it.
That is from one of the original YouTube sensations, the Big Mac rap, yo. That is It's not that at all. That, darling. This is a sacred rap.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, we are so glad that you're joining us here and that you are preparing to get your sassafras tea perhaps out.
Let's build on the sass together, please.
There's a lot of sass in this car today.
We need to learn about sass together as one, together with you and us. A group of us learning about sass, you might say.
Oh, and we are all like, kumbaya, my lord. Kumbaya. Where'd you get that straw?
It's in our house. We have a couple straws.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, sometimes we collect straws because my sister Caitlin uses straws.
Yep.
And, the world is like anti-straw nowadays. It's just choosing things to be against.
Anti-straw.
And so
or pro-straw 2020.
I think sometimes I have straws in my bags, my purses, and then I clean out my purses, and then I'm like, I don't want to throw out the straw because that's a waste. So then I put it in our utensil drawer.
Absolutely.
And then just now, I wanted to stir my coffee before we left the house, and I didn't want to use a spoon because I'd already started the dishwasher. And so therefore, I used the straw.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
We're pro-straw.
Thank you for letting me lead you down that.
Thank you for that rabbit hole. So today we are talking about sass. What it means to be sassy. How do you handle some sass?
The tudes.
So Gabby and I are not that sass. Oh, we can.
We're sassy.
We can't. We're not very angry.
I mean, who is not? That's what I want to know.
Some people aren't. Some people are so docile.
It's hard to
that
me.
They could be like a lamb led to the slaughter.
I guess.
Or, now, to be fair,
That's
also,
fair.
some people are just angry.
Yeah.
Which is very
true.
sassy
Different.
is like a little bit more defiant, a little bit more low key.
All right, let's define sass. How
Yeah.
about that?
It's definitely not being passive, but I also think it's very different than just like somebody screaming and being ticked all the time.
Right.
Huge difference. You okay?
Oh, I'm trying to get my phone. I want to look up sass for us.
You can look it up on mine right there.
Oh, okay, good. I almost killed my arm just looking in there.
On a previous episode that was filmed immediately before this, Gabby dropped her phone, and it's been hurting us.
I drop my phone all the time in the car.
Indeed. There's actually little things on the side of the car to stop that. Like that people...
All right, sass.
Yeah.
Impudence, cheek.
Oh, I like...
cheeky or rude. Ooh, they say it's rude.
It is. Sass is rude.
Oh, wow.
What, you've never thought sass is rude?
Cheeky, rude. Well, I never really thought of it that way.
Impudence is a pretty strong word, though. To me, that's the one that stands out of all there, because, like, that's what I would call, like, a mere coup level, like, attitude.
Well, here's the thing, because I'm glad we looked that up, because I often, when I hear sass, I think of it kind of, like, more like cheeky. Which is like not necessarily rude, but it's like, oh, okay, you're like throwing something back. But it is true, sass can be rude. I mean,
sass could absolutely be rude, Gabrielle. Not what type of sass have you been talking about here?
Well, because a lot of times people talk about a kid and they're like, oh, they're sassy, but they say it as a compliment.
Well, I think it could be fun, and like I think it could be, but
it can be fun because they're like, oh, they're showing some spark, some fire. They're showing their opinions,
But they could be, but that also could be rude.
I know, because it could not be done well. So I guess it could be cute if it's done well.
I like the word impudence in there, and that's the one. Like yet again, that if when I come to power, those that are impudent to me.
It's a $5 word.
That's a $5.
What was that?
That's the sound of my enemies bowing before me.
All right, so that's what sass is. So I would say we definitely are capable of being very sassy in that case.
Well, we've got a lot of sass.
Yeah.
We got a lot of problems with you people.
Yeah.
Now you're going to hear about them.
That's interesting. Okay.
All right. So, do you want to talk about our particulars?
Yeah. So I'll bring up the situation that brought this question of sass up, right?
Yep.
All right. So here's the situation.
The sitch.
I love pictures.
She loves pictures.
I love pictures.
Loves them.
Yes, and I like to take them. Well, I don't know. I like taking them.
You take 1,000 selfies.
I don't know, but
you like taking them. You like being in them. You love everything about. You can't play.
I will just say I know some people who like to take them more than I do, though.
Yeah, I mean, there's always somebody more.
I'm just saying there's
but Gabby,
a range.
you're
I'm
top.
saying there's a range, Adam.
You.
I'm middle of the road.
There is very few times we could even go out to get a hamburger without a picture being taken and sent.
Well, okay, so I take them, but I'm not always the best with posting them. Because part of the reason is because it takes me time. Like, I have to think, like, oh, like, which ones, like, I have to make decisions between which ones to post, and then also just the idea of, like, after the party, like, that night, like, going through the phone and, like, taking the time to put them up. I just don't like taking that time.
That's fair.
But that's a bummer for me, like, a criticism of myself, because I like pictures a lot. That's why I take them.
Oh,
I
she
like
loves
to
them.
memorialize.
Loves them.
I love to document a situation with loved ones. And so I would love them to be posted or shared or whatever, like, lived out. But I don't feel like taking it. I don't like to take the time. I don't like, even when I make decisions on them, I feel like I'm saying no to one as opposed to saying yes to the other. I feel like I'm, choosing. I feel bad about my, like, I don't want to hurt the feelings of the other picture. So anyway, that's like a thing, and I struggle with that. Used to be too, I used to play with all the filters, and it literally would just take so long to post a picture. It was horrible. So that's why I was just like, I can't even do the filter thing. Like, I'm done.
That's fair.
So I'll still post and everything, but I'm not like super quick with it.
No, you've improved a lot.
I'm all right. And then in the same way, printing pictures, I don't do that a ton.
Nope.
And but I want pictures to be up in our home now that we have a home together.
Yeah, our walls are blank essentially. Now, inversely, I'm not a big picture person. I am or at least with, like, people. I love good scenes. Like, I love a good painting. So, like, I'm in the opposite world. Like, and I get so angry on my Instagram account. Or, like, so we went to New York with my family last summer, and I posted 2 things from it. One was a series of beautiful skyscraper collections and, like, awesome scenic views. And the others were pictures of the family, and the family pictures got more likes.
Duh!
Like, I'm thinking, like, what idiot would love these pictures more than
every single idiot?
These are incredible views.
In person. Yeah.
I know. I stand by it. I love so it just completely the opposite of, like,
It's true.
that. I'm learning.
And I don't really care about a scenic picture. Like, for the longest time, I haven't really cared about a scenic picture. Because there's no people in it. So, like, even back in the day growing up, we would go places and my friends would take, like, pictures of the scene or whatever, and me and my sister would always make fun of them because we're like, I don't understand. Like, when you go home and you look at that picture, you're not even going to remember who was with you, like, anything like that. But, I understand a little better now that I'm older. You can take a beautiful scene, but I just don't understand it above the people pictures. So, anyway, we've been working on, one of the things in our first year of marriage was, like, trying to figure out what pictures to hang up at the house. And when we first moved in, we had a couple of pictures.
We got a bunch of little frames for, like, wedding gifts, and so actually Gabby did amazing.
So I did fill those.
Yeah, those all got filled up, and they're nice. They're throughout the house. They're on like the normal parts. But one of the things that we did have from our photographer is with our photography package was one like. I forget how big it is, but a large...
It's like a 16 by something.
Yeah. Like a large picture that she'll get print out for you as part of the deal.
Yeah, very nice.
So it took us about...
a year.
Yeah.
Exactly a year. I was like... I didn't work on it continuously, but I kept going back to it. Couldn't decide. And I was like, I have to choose this. So by our first anniversary, we had asked her for the picture, and she gave it to us, like, literally within days. She's amazing.
There was no flaw with her.
No, we just couldn't decide, which was just painful. So we finally decided. And then I had to decide on some other pictures that I wanted, like, other pictures from the wedding up. And so we finally, and Adam and I went and got frames together.
Yep, we did a lot of work on it.
All this stuff. So anyway, we did all this work. We got the frames, then we got the pictures, then I put the pictures in the frames, and then they were waiting in the corner of the house.
Yep, they were waiting. Yep, they were.
For some time. And we had talked about, the reason why we didn't at first hang them up is because one of the frames was still empty, and I hadn't got a picture for that one.
Yep.
So then I finally did, because he didn't want to put them all up at different times, which made sense. So then I finally did get a picture for that one. So then we had them all, and I didn't really, bring anything up to Adam, but I was aware that they were not hung yet.
Yep.
And Adam was, I guess, not thinking about it.
It was not a choice of not doing it. It was just did not even cross my mind.
Whereas I was hyper aware that they were sitting in the corner of a room for, maybe 2 weeks.
Taking us a year to get the picture.
It's accurate. It's accurate.
That.
So then one day,
I love my blank wall.
We bring us to the Sass, the question of Sass, because I guess we were at the house, and at one point I just said, because we had talked previously, we had been like, okay, when we're off that day, we're going to hang the pictures.
Yep.
We had said that maybe like 2 times.
Yep.
So then this was the day we had been off, and I guess I was in a bad mood.
You were not pleased.
I was not in a good mood, and he said, like, what's wrong? And I guess I just I said something like, well, I'm just, I guess you just don't want the pictures hung up. And Adam was like, what? Like, wait, what are you talking about? And I was like, the pictures we were going to hang up, I've just noticed that I guess there's just something you don't want to go up. You don't want that up. And you were like, why would you think that? I was like, because they're still not up. Okay. And then Adam, go ahead.
I walked over, are you sassing me?
Yeah. At first you're like, are you okay? And I was like, I'm fine. But I realized that I probably wasn't fine at that moment because I wouldn't turn and look at him. I was putting away laundry.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't turn.
So I grabbed Gabby are you sassing me?
He hugs me from behind, and he's laughing. He's like, are you sassing me? And I was like, no. And he was like, are you sassing me right now?
She was sassing me
and I was like, yes. And then he let me go, and I kept putting away my laundry. I still needed some time. And the whole time I'm thinking, I guess I was. I didn't realize I was sassing him until he said that. I didn't realize I was being passive aggressive until he said that. I kept putting away my stuff and did whatever other little errand things I had to do. And it probably took me 15 minutes.
Yep.
And you just waited in the living room.
I knew I knew we had a conversation coming.
You just waited. And then I finished all my activity, my flurry of activity. And he's sitting there. He's like, would you like a cup of tea? I'm like, fine. And he's like, I think we need to talk about this. And I was like, oh, okay. And then we sat on the couch and we discussed the reason for my sass.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful.
It was. We worked through a lot of things there. And it was great. Now, and then we hung the pictures.
Oh my gosh. Then we hung the pictures.
Yeah.
So that was part of it. Adam, it was so good because Adam had us, it was a great intervention. He recognized my sass. He probably couldn't have recognized it any better because the way he just did it and laughed, it made me feel less embarrassed.
You were amazing.
Because then I said sorry, but he was so laughing about it that it did make me feel less embarrassed of my passive aggressiveness. So I said sorry. I mean, he accepted it very, very generously, and then just wanted to.
And to be fair, we needed the pictures up.
Right, but then he wanted to talk about it, and I probably wouldn't have talked about it because I would be embarrassed. But it was so good because you wanted to talk about it because in the end there was a reason for my sass. Yeah, and so it was important to talk about, which I wouldn't really have even thought of.
It was about the pictures, but it also wasn't about the pictures. A lot of many things. It wasn't. But
yes.
It helped because in a lot of ways. Now, to be fair, I knew I needed Gabby to hang these pictures because, okay, how they look and all, that's a 2-person street in here. There's no way I'm doing this and getting it right on my own.
And I definitely wasn't doing it by myself. I, don't know, first thing about whatever.
No, Gabby did great on this. I'll be fair. One of the things that I hate more than anything in the world is hanging these stupid pictures because they have to be level, and especially when they have the little nail things and it's multiple ones. This has been my bane everywhere I have it. Trying to get, and when you're trying to line them up across this is just
See, and that was good information because I did not know that you actually hate to hang pictures. I had no idea.
Oh,
which, by the way, he hates to hang pictures.
And I'm not completely. Here's where. So we actually just ordered some of these tile things that'll just stick on and off the wall.
Oh yeah.
All about that. But the ones where, okay, we're hammering we have to put nails in the wall or other things that it has to be done. And you saw it. It's a process to make sure. No, because you want it yet again, if you're putting this up here, you don't want it crooked. You want it to be in the right spot of the bedroom, or whatever room you're putting it in.
Oh, it was so terrible. So we hang them, and we put them all on one wall.
Did not like it.
It did not look good.
I was ready to cry.
Oh my gosh. And we stand back, and I was like, how can I agree with him that they don't look bad because he's so broken right now. He kept pulling out the level and re-leveling it. So finally I was like, it does, you're right. I think we need to just put one picture here and then we found 2 other places for the pictures. And he looks at me and he goes, okay, yep, And I was like, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? And you just said, I just wish that you had said that at the beginning. And I was like, I didn't know at the beginning.
No. Yeah,
but it was that was, he was broken.
That was unfair of me because
No,
it's
but it
like
was
there's
so
no way to
true.
know how this is gonna like.
Oh, it was so
It's one of
true.
those you got to put it up to kind of like.
It was brutal.
but-
It was brutal. And then later,
I had a lot of sass at that point.
oh, it was great.
Oh.
But then it was just open. It was open. But then we were hanging them, and then it kept not being level, and I was like, but it looks even out. I'm like, I think it's fine. And oh my gosh, he was dying. And then he leveled the floor.
No, yeah, I checked the wall because this has happened to me before.
Check the wall.
The wall is not level.
It's not level. Oh, it's so funny. Oh my gosh.
This has happened to me before in a spot where, you know what, I was hanging just for a nursery, like a diaper bag, like a hanging a rod for it. And yet again, like, I am not a great craftsman, but I do know enough. Like, and I've learned from my dad. I'm still learning a lot. My dad's a phenomenal craftsman. And like, I measured out. I'm like, okay, I know what this is level. I know where my line should be and what this needs to look like because I want it to look good. And it drove me insane. Like, I'm sitting there for 20 minutes. Like, why is this not? Oh, the wall is actually not perfectly level. So, and it was the weirdest thing because like, I have to intentionally make this not level so that it looks level.
So true. All right. So, in summary, what do you think we like recognize about Sass or learn about Sass or?
I think you need to confront.
Sass?
I think Sass is good. Sass gets things done sometimes. I think that's real. Like, sometimes, you know what, and, you know, I'm not always great. You need a cheeky comment. You need to be a little impudent to make a point that, yo, pay attention, idiot. It helps. I think the other part is you got to figure out what the reason is with the Sass. Is it just, hey, this one scenario? Is there something deeper here? So I think that helps a lot. Like, and yeah, what do you think?
In that way, Sass, well, I think Sass is important only in that, like, a symptom is important because you know that you need to go somewhere deeper. So if you're seeing the Sass, like, you know, you might know that you need to have a conversation about something. But I think that's nice because usually with Sass, we just take it and then move on, like, let it be a little passive-aggressive. Yeah. But it's good to, like, directly be like, oh, okay, like, maybe that was funny, maybe it wasn't, but let's talk about why are you actually being, like, sassy? Why is that coming out?
Sassafras.
But in contrast to sarcasm, which might be a whole nother thing.
Yeah. Yeah, sarcasm. Yeah, sarcasm is a little less confrontational. That's just a running narrative.
See, I think sarcasm might be less useful than sass. Hard to tell.
We'll have to dive into that maybe on a...
Yeah, that's something to think about.
That we might have
sarcasm could be a little bit more dangerous, but that's something to think about.
We'll have to think through that.
Yes, interesting.
Well...
Emotions are good.
Sass is good.
Sass might be good. Sass is useful.
It is. It gets stuff done.
Yep.
But we hope you have a great day.
A great day.
I hope you
mean that sincerely.
That's
no
so
sass.
sincerely.
No,
do what you like. I don't care.
No. Have a good one.
If you haven't left us a 5-star review, leave it. If not, well, whatever.
Love ya.
See ya.